Have you ever reached something you wanted for a long time and felt almost nothing? Not because you're ungrateful, not because it wasn't a good achievement, but because after the moment passes, there's a strange silence. You thought the goal would change you. You thought it would finally fix something inside. But instead, you're left with one quiet question. Now what? The scariest feeling isn't failing. It's winning and still feeling empty. Most people imagine happiness like a finish line, as if life is a straight road. Work to achieve, to arrive, to feel complete. But life rarely feels like that, because a goal isn't a home. It's a moment. And moments don't last. The mind adapts fast. What once felt impossible becomes normal. And then you realize something painful. You didn't really want the thing. You wanted what you thought the thing would make you feel. Confidence, freedom, peace, worthiness. But the goal can't permanently deliver those, because those aren't objects. They're inner states. Most goals don't fail. They just can't deliver what we secretly expect from them. Here's where it gets even deeper. Many people don't just chase goals. They attach their identity to them. I'll be proud when I accomplish this. I'll be enough when I get there. I'll be someone when I prove it. So the goal becomes more than a goal. It becomes a verdict on your worth. And when you finally reach it, your brain has a problem. Because if your worth was tied to the goal, what happens after you achieve it? For a moment, you feel relief. And then the mind panics. Because it needs a new target, a new mountain, a new thing to prove. So it creates one, and the chase begins again. If your worth depends on achievement, you'll never be allowed to rest. Modern life teaches a subtle message. More will fix it. More money, more success, more attention, more progress. But more is a hunger that grows when you feed it. That's why some people reach what they wanted and immediately feel pulled toward the next thing. Not because they're driven, but because they're trying to outrun emptiness. And emptiness is not defeated by speed. It's only revealed by stopping. Some people don't chase dreams. They chase escape. Here's the real reason the goal can feel empty. Because the goal was never the point. The point was the meaning you hoped the goal would provide. But meaning doesn't come from outcomes alone. It comes from relationships, contribution, growth alignment with your values, living in a way that feels true. A goal can support meaning, but it can't replace it. So if someone builds a life where meaning is absent, no achievement can fill the space. It's like decorating a house that has no foundation. It might look impressive, but it won't feel like home. Achievement can decorate your life. It can't define it. So what do? You stop asking, what can I achieve next? And start asking, what kind of life do I want to live every day? Because the happiest people aren't obsessed with outcomes. They're aligned with their values. They build a life that feels meaningful even on normal days. Because most of life is normal days. And if your happiness depends on rare peaks, you'll spend most of your life waiting. If you need a huge moment to feel alive, you'll feel dead on ordinary days. Maybe feeling empty after achieving something isn't proof the goal was pointless. Maybe it's proof you were trying to get from the goal what only purpose can give. And purpose isn't found at the finish line. Purpose is built in the way you live. Every day. Stop chasing the moment. Start building the meaning. And here's the part most people don't want to hear. The emptiness you feel after achieving something is often the moment you finally meet yourself. Because while you were chasing the goal, your mind was busy. Busy hoping. Busy planning. Busy pushing forward. But once the goal is done, The noise fades. And what's left is whatever you've been avoiding. Sometimes that's loneliness. Sometimes it's uncertainty. Sometimes it's the feeling that your life doesn't have a center. Achievement doesn't heal emptiness. It reveals it. There's a reason the chase often feels better than the victory. During the chase, you have momentum. You have a story. I'm becoming someone. I'm on my way. I'm building something. And that story gives life structure. But when you arrive, the story ends. And you realize you were using the climb to create meaning, not the goal. So the question becomes, if the climb gave you purpose, what purpose do you have when the climb is over? Sometimes the goal was never the dream. It was the distraction. This is how people become addicted to goals. Not because goals are bad, but because goals provide identity. When you're chasing something, you can say, I'm ambitious. I'm disciplined. I'm improving. I'm moving forward. But if you stop chasing, you fear you'll become nothing. So your mind does what it always does. It creates a new target. And it whispers, just one more achievement. Then you'll feel complete. But just one more is a trap. Because the mind that uses goals to feel whole will never allow itself to feel whole. If you need the next goal to feel alive, you'll never feel finished. Let's be honest. Most people didn't want the money. They wanted freedom. They didn't want the status. They wanted respect. They didn't want the relationship. They wanted to feel chosen. They didn't want the achievement itself. They wanted to feel enough. And this is where philosophy becomes practical. If what you wanted was an inner state, then no external outcome can permanently deliver it. External wins can trigger a temporary feeling, but they can't create a stable identity. That has to be built from the inside. You weren't chasing the goal. You were chasing a feeling. So what do? You build meaning in places the internet doesn't praise. In your daily routine, in your relationships, in your health, in your craft, in your values. Because meaning isn't loud. Meaning is quiet. Meaning is what remains when nobody is clapping. And if your life only feels valuable when it's impressive, then your life becomes a performance. But if your life feels valuable because it's aligned, then even simple days feel rich. A meaningful life doesn't always look impressive. It feels peaceful. Maybe emptiness after success isn't a sign you chose the wrong goal. Maybe it's a signal that goals can't be your foundation. Goals are chapters, but values are the book. So keep achieving, yes. But don't ask achievements to do the job of purpose, because purpose isn't found at the finish line. Purpose is built in how you live when there is no finish line. Don't build your life around goals. Build it around what matters.